All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Hibike Euphonium, Season 1, Episode 2. Joining the Wind Ensemble Club. Okay.
Yes.
All right,
yes.
Kumiko. Let's do this. But what will we get with the other characters? Because our previous friend, club member, Kosaka from middle school? Yes.
Yeah, middle school.
Yeah, middle school. Yeah. She is also there, and we haven't seen that whole interaction go down yet.
Yeah, it's been kind of one of those like awkward things of where it's like, oh, I wanted a fresh start. Well, I'm gonna avoid you.
I didn't expect you would be here.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Awkward.
We do need to actually talk at some point, though. Otherwise, this awkwardness will just keep going forever. So, yeah.
But the show's pacing has been quite, kind of slow and giving us a little bit of time to get to know everyone. And now it's time to maybe see these interactions bounce off each other.
Yes.
More.
And by the way, I think I mentioned this the last episode, but I really love the sort of general tone and feel and style that they're going for with Kumiko, because for a main character, that's that reserved sort of, not shyness, but, timidness. I don't know, insecurity. I like it. I think it's fun to see.
Insecurity is a good way to describe it and stuff, because there's the aspect of her going to a school that is worse in terms of band-related stuff than like her previous kind of school, or the school that she might have expected to have gone to. So it's it'll be interesting to see how that plays into things. Also, I love that she's got a home life dynamic in this show.
Yes,
because a lot of sports anime kind of things can end up avoiding going too much into the home life, because it's so much about the skill, the passion, the club,
all the stuff that happens at school.
Right, exactly. But yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. I like how this OP kind of uses the intro cards essentially just to show little like animated dynamic poses and stuff, the kind of things that you can expect to see from the characters, showing kind of the yes, this is why you will like this character,
right? A bit of their personality,
right. But it's almost like I don't know, like something, I don't know if an animator would send that as like a, hey, here's a thing I did, It's like, here's a bunch of characters with dynamic, animation for their faces and bodies and stuff.
Oh, he was the orchestra director or whatever.
Right. The big conductor, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, conductor, that's what it's called.
Yeah. A director might be the word too. I'm not sure, but yeah, that was the guy that was listening to the performance that they did in middle school.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, how many of these characters will we have to remember the names for? Like,
dude, we're gonna be like, probably bare minimum like just able to remember the instruments by the time this show's over. This is scenario 1.
Yeah.
But it goes so perfectly well.
Cheering her on and everything. I love it.
Wait, what?
Just cold shoulder.
Maybe she didn't hear you.
Yeah. This is for your own good, my friend. Oh. Wow.
Oh. What? Oh my god!
Wow. Wow.
2 weeks!
Oh my god.
2 weeks! Oh my god! Wow. Alright. People is a very vague term.
It's very possible she doesn't remember you, though. Oh my
there we
god.
Go. Yep. Oh.
Gotcha. Would anyone, and by that we mean you.
We don't have any healers here. Could someone...
Yep. Yes. Watch, and all the spots are taken.
Yep. Cool. Asuka!
Yep, Yes.
Yep, here we go. Solo sections. Oh, this is really hard to... Oh no.
Yeah.
No chance.
They've got plenty.
0 chance of Tanaka Asuka. Ah.
Okay. Wow.
That's funny.
She even
That's
told you about
funny,
it
yeah.
earlier.
その話どれくらい続くの
Wow. But
Wow.
what is a euphonium?
Yep.
Okay, you might have chosen quite well in Asuka being
あと思いです
and hence a
Yep.
dude.
はい
Hi.
That's all.
代わりにこの田中飛鳥が
No.
Oh my god.
Yes. She's amazing.
もしかしてコンバス経験者はい聖女でやってました聖女ってあの聖女
Seijo?
やった
Wait, what?
So you know Oikawa, you know?
Yeah.
ということでこの子は
I'll
私
be
の
taking this
Right,
one.
right.
本当は希望を取ってからだけどベイベーコンバス
What?
バ Baby.
君は僕のものだよ
Contrabass
よろ
chan.
しくお願いしますトランペット行ってくるね
Good luck.
Yep.
タファイアちゃん以外まだ一人も希望を取ってないんだけど
Just repeating the line.
絶対ユーフォニアムが似合うそんな顔
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god. Loki!
ユーフォとかやつこと個人で買って
Oh.
Yeah.
いい
Dang.
ですかあのチューバのマウスピース持ってる子は何あれトランペットのと間違って買っちゃったんです
Oh wow.
Oh man.
And that's how we're gonna get all three of them in the same section
Yeah.
of the wind ensemble.
よしよし生活量はバッチリだ
Ah!
Yeah.
島サファイア君も UFO やりたくなるかなって
Oh, that's gonna
Damn it,
be
you're
the, that's
not
gonna be the
wrong.
arraignment.
Uh
赤い糸で結ばれているのだよ
huh. Oh, of course.
そんなこと初めて聞きました
Shut up! Oh my god, of course she would buy that.
Yeah.
こ
Uh
こ
huh.
にあるガキたちにそれを指してみて
Ah, let's see which one it fits. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is amazing.
It's massive!
いや
Ah.
ー見ると強引に巻き込まれる
やっぱり水分にしたんだな
ゲし
Eh.
なんでここにいるの
Another childhood friend.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
ありだ
Howie?
お低音に欲しいよね小学校の頃から UFO
Ah!
Uh huh.
Ah! Get wrecked! Get wrecked!
お姉さんちょっとあっちで話し
Oh my
Yep.
god.
And just like that, your fate is sealed.
Yep. Oh!
ちょっとどいてくれないあごめん
Hopeless. Ah! Oh!
結構イケメンだよね
私は生徒の自主性を重んじるというのをモットーにしています
Initiative.
Alright,
Nice.
cool.
Alright.
昨年度の皆さんの目標でしたよね
Compete in nationals.
Hmm.
目標というかスローガンみたいなもので
Right? Gotcha. As a group.
All come up with the same goal?
僕を目指したいと決めたら練習も厳しい
No, this is good. This is
反対
good.
に楽しい思い出を作るどちらでもいいと考えていますので
And it's cool that he's making that very much open for them to decide.
私初期やるから多数決で決めよう
But that just means you're gonna have a bunch of people that aren't happy.
Yeah. A lot of people could leave.
いいですよね先生
Oh no, is it a public vote too?
Oh. Yeah, her hands raised high.
全国まで目指さなくてもいいと思う人
Some people might not raise their hands at all.
Uh huh.
Yep. Once one person does it,
Yeah.
then a couple other people might be comfortable doing it.
はい多数決の結果
Yeah, but a bunch of
Wow.
people just don't vote. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was going to happen. Because it was public.
Right.
努力するのは
Yep.
皆さん
Not
自身
voting is a choice
その
too.
ことを
Yeah.
忘れないでください
Yeah,
Wakarimashita
that's
ka?
true.
わかりましたか
He's already going into the groove of,
Yep.
okay,
This
let's
is
do
what
this.
you want.
Yep.
私のバカ何質問のせいにしてんのよ
Oh.
言うと
Whoa. Howie.
Hello.
か
Cool.
そんなことがあったんだね
The one person that voted no.
When it was clear pretty much no one else is gonna
Right.
vote.
なるね。一応吹奏楽部なので吹奏楽関係ないけどね。
I love doing that.
大会って書いてあったけど本気で目指してる人なんていなかったんじゃないかな。
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's just kind of a thought, a feeling.
全国大会目指すっていう方に手を挙げるでしょ。大人はずるいよ。それ言ったらどっちにも手を挙げなかった誰かさんが一番ずるいんじゃない。それは
Yeah.
そうだけどみんななんとなく本音を見せないようにしながら一番問題のない方
Uh huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
For
Oh.
leaving.
Well, not only that, there's the.
Oh.
Oh, dang. Are we doing this too?
Yeah.
I think she was wanting you to be honest with yourself. She
Right.
could tell that you weren't being honest. Mm-hmm. Come on, Kumiko. You can do this. She's like, oh, we didn't have to push her this time.
Yeah.
高校の UFO だね。交わした言葉はそれだ。
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, there wasn't any any meanness to it or anything like
Oh,
that.
nothing at all. Yeah.
次の曲が始まるのです。
So she
Alright.
can essentially be free of any kind of worry about how Kosaka sees her,
Right.
which is good because that's really, I would say, the biggest thing that was kind of holding her back and stuff. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the ED kind of spoils a little bit, though, which instrument she was going to play anyway, so
Oh no, I mean,
we know.
no.
we
In
know.
the show Hibike Euphonium, I'm pretty sure she's gonna play the tuba or something.
Right, yeah.
I loved how Asuka was just like, okay, all right, bass group, all right, let's do this, and that is a really cool way to like subdivide it so that it's like, okay, yes, the club as a whole is the wind ensemble, but there's no way we're gonna be able to deal with that many characters.
Right.
So let's go down to a smaller subset.
All right.
Okay.
So Kosaka and
Kumiko,
they had their little interaction.
Little interactions. They've basically seems like they've patched things up, or rather that Kumiko now knows that there wasn't anything to patch up.
Yeah, I
They
think
weren't really friends before, and it was one comment. There you go.
Yeah, I think the big thing with it is that, Kosaka doesn't seem like one to hold some kind of grudge for something so small as in that it was words. But it is interesting to see how that whole idea of having a set of expectations that are missed because people in your group are not necessarily going at it with the same level of passion that you are. And that's something that we got to see through the new character introduced, Aoi, who is saying that, this is my alibi. Why
Right,
did you
which
vote
is-
that way when no one else did? Which is essentially saying, wait a minute, so your vote in that case there was more of a statement rather than about actually changing the vote at all.
Right. It's the kind of thing of, I'm against this, so, or at least this is the impression that I'm getting. I'm against this, so even though we're going to do this, I don't have to.
Right.
And when I don't get mad at me because I
Exactly.
said from the get-go this wasn't what I wanted to do.
Exactly.
With everyone else,
They chose the non-action
the
choice.
non-action, which in this situation, that's basically saying I'm up for whatever the group decides.
Yep.
Right? Which at that point, and it could just be because that's the option that was put up first. Right? Like, all right, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, there's so many psychological things that went into this voting thing that are just one of those reminders of like, oh wow, this was
Like,
this was the way, of course it had to go.
Right.
Like, you could say that any group that basically like was put into this situation, this is basically how they would vote every time, because they chose to have the nationals things first,
Right.
which means that the people that vote yes on that are going to show the impression and that they're the majority immediately,
Sure.
and thus more people are going to kind of go, yeah, I'm with everyone else, yeah, I'll do that. And then everyone that votes for whatever is the other thing saw how many other people voted yes on that thing and are then going to go, I don't want to be anti-group, so I won't vote.
right.
And then anyone that does vote might even get potentially singled out as a
Oh,
hey,
you're trying to bring down the team.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Well, and also the whole idea of try and make it to nationals. That's sort of established as the normal thing.
Yeah, we did that last year.
We did that last year, and whatever. Yeah, we'll try and make it to nationals. But then it's like, well, no, hold on. And the teacher, he did his best to try and communicate it to them,
Right.
but because they're young kids and everything,
They chose the system of the voting, though. I like that
yes.
thing of there that Tika, he did not specifically say to do it with a voting system.
right?
He was just
Exactly.
saying, you guys decide,
Yep.
and I'll accept whatever decision you
This
make.
is high school. You guys are grown up. You can figure this out, right?
Yep, take initiative.
And the casual decision to vote, and it's like, oh sure, yeah, that makes sense, but voting publicly rather than like, yeah, everyone
Yeah.
because. And this is one of the things where for Asuka, I feel like it makes a lot of sense for her to come up with the idea of let's just vote, because she's a very take action kind of person without really thinking about much else,
Right.
So, as a result of that, she's not considering the idea of what if people are very invested in it going one particular way. Mm-hmm. There could definitely be some animosity that forms for the people that go the opposite direction, right? And so this whole thing of just, let's vote. Yes, great in theory, but little details in the execution that could have definitely been done better.
I also like that the other girl kind of has this, oh, wait a minute, a vote? Are we sure about that?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then Asuka's thing of, well, with this many people, how else could we choose? And it's like, no, there are other ways. And there are very specific ways you could make sure that it is something that is handled, a little bit better. And he goes, that's fine, whatever makes everyone happy. And you can see almost immediately that there are people that are like, oh crap.
Yep. And I love how the show does this, because from the first 2 episodes we've seen so far, this show is very slow, right? Mm-hmm. Not a whole lot of stuff happens in each episode from the standpoint of like
The plot,
right?
Yeah.
In this episode, this was basically Kumiko figuring out, I guess I am going to stick with the instrument that I played before and that the audience figured I will definitely end up playing anyways.
Yeah.
And then also talking to Kosaka and not really even talking much, like having a conversation, but just getting that, she doesn't hate me, all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then bumping into all the other people at the club and them just kind of
Right.
figuring out how they want to do this moving forward this year. Mm-hmm. And that's exciting because all these characters then are going to be, for the most part, continuing on into the future as a member of the band. Now, they did say that there might be tryouts for those that are, needing, wanting to be an instrument where there's already a full, list of people there.
Like with the trumpet, for instance, for Kosaka.
Yeah, where Kosaka kind of showed up everyone there by basically saying, yeah, I'm better than all of you.
Yeah. And not with, any ill intent or anything.
No, of
it's
course
just
not.
I take private lessons. I take this very seriously.
Right. You saw how the other girls kind of had this,
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Oh, okay, one of us is losing a spot.
Right. It's the sort of the that sort of social hierarchy dynamic of gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
This is the level that we are going to be seeing at the peak. Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things that's really exciting about that, personally, is that if Kosaka has any rapport with any of the other members of the band, they will be bolstered a little bit by her skills. Now, she has to have rapport.
Yes.
If she has neutral or negative rapport, it could actually end up harming
Being
some
off-putting,
aspects of things there. So I'm interested to see how that goes. Shuichi do be basically bumping into Kumiko at very hilarious times, and that was funny to be to have her have this crap,
Right. Oh, he's over here.
Yeah,
And as far as an explanation for okay, all right, she tells her friends don't tell them that I used to play the Euph, right?
Yes.
I don't want to be pressured into it or anything because that Asuka girl, yeah, she would definitely pressure me into it, right?
Yeah.
And then it's okay, cool. They pick up on the signs. It's just going just great. But then
Childhood friend.
Oh, surprise childhood friend. That's oh yeah, oh, do you know each other?
Right.
There you go.
Perfect.
And then of course Asuka's oh, really? You don't say.
Yeah, I got you.
Right.
Save me.
Yeah.
Damn you all to hell.
There were a bunch of little just bits of expression from the characters that
Yes.
I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Whether it was Hazuki and Midori, being like, oh, whispering, like, oh, go for it, you can do it, yeah, it's gonna be great, to Asuka just being like, yes, all right, come over here.
Her doing her 3 times chant horror movie little thing. I need someone,
a bit of crocodile tears, basically, of like, if only there was someone.
Right. Yeah. Oh, man. I liked the idea also of Kumiko being the one who is indecisive in general, so she ends up getting pushed into situations that she's not fully ready for.
Yep.
We saw this shown 3 different ways this episode, to the point where I think it's kind of a theme of her character. She didn't have an instrument picked out in middle school.
Yes.
All the other kids did. I don't think that's just because necessarily she was the new person coming in. There
Probably
had to
not.
be other first-year kids coming in.
They picked before her, and then it's who wants this last one? Well, you haven't picked yet.
Yep.
Does anyone want
it? Yeah. So it gets kind of pushed on her. Yeah. Now, you could say, well, she's a kid. Yeah, it's awkward and stuff. It's like, well, so are all the other kids.
Sure. Yeah.
And the class didn't look small enough to where she was the one first year or something like that. There were probably like at least 2 or 3 others.
At least,
just picked earlier. Then also the dynamic of where she's not wanting to talk to Kosaka because it's awkward for her. Yep. And she builds up a lot of that awkwardness within her own mind to where it feels more terrifying than it actually is, because Kosaka is just kind of like, oh, you're still playing the Euph?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's that's after all the times of her like going up and like trying to approach her and like falling down in front of her and doing all this stuff. Like I would not be surprised at all if at the beginning she was like, who is this girl? And then it's like, she maybe thinks about it and she's like, oh, that's right. Oh yeah. Are you still playing the Euph?
Yeah. It's the kind of thing of where you can almost get that little elements of the kudere vibe from Kosaka, where she's like, I don't understand like social kind of stuff and things like that. So if I see people acting funny around me, I just kind of go, I don't understand it, but okay, yeah.
And she's confident in her passions, because when it came to wanting to go to nationals, there was no element of her that was questioning, held back.
She had her hand raised the highest.
Everyone
else was kind of like doing this. You know?
And in the flashback, there was nothing. The absolute confidence with her anger and her pain over the fact that we got a dud gold. We didn't make it, right? Whereas Kumiko was sort of like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, that was pretty good. Awesome. So
this will be good. This will be good. But yeah, I think you zeroed in on one of the most like
certainly from a comedic
girls from a comedic standpoint with regards to Asuka, because holy crap, she was on fire this episode.
And I love that they have a reason to be basically kept in close proximity to her as a character for the rest of the show, because they're all in base.
Leader, basically. And that's nice because she has a very aggressive personality, thus the other characters, primarily our main character Kumiko, not being an aggressive type character can lead to some fun interactions.
Right. The reason why I like her as a character is not just because her personality is entertaining, but also from a narrative perspective, especially since a bunch of our characters are withdrawn, she's needed. Because yes, having the bubbly, fun characters, that's great too, but having them being like too assertive, right? That can draw stuff out of these other, because, if Kosaka and Kumiko are sort of the 2 main characters kind of this show, we've seen what happens over the course of almost a month, right? Of them left to their own devices and even having friends to encourage them. Nothing happens, right? So now we're going to force them into close proximity and then have someone that will specifically
prod them.
Yeah.
She is an instigator in D&D terms. She is the kind of person that goes, all right, you guys are spending too long thinking about this. Boom, I kick down the door to the dungeon. We're going in.
You might not like them, but they are never boring.
They're never boring. That is very true.
I love how she also feel strongly about them one way or the other.
I love how she also had like a report, full on like manuscript of what to talk about.
This is why the Euph is amazing, right? Because like I could totally see her being like, okay, all right, I have to get tons of people into the base section.
Yeah, she was getting into the history of where this instrument's origins came from, and how it was an offshoot of another instrument. And then her friend was like, whoa. How long are you going to be talking? She's like, and she holds up and she's like, my God.
She seems like the hopeless music romantic, basically. That's like, this is one of the most beautiful things ever. We are not just in a club. We are in the wind ensemble club.
Definitely.
Like the equivalent
the two
of
lovers thing. And
Right,
the
right.
mouthpiece bound by fate.
Yes.
Find which one fits. And then she has a Cinderella moment.
Oh my
with the
god,
slipper.
that was so good. Tuba-kun. Like,
Tuba-kun. Oh my god, that is just too funny.
Like, this is the kind of thing where I wouldn't have necessarily expected her type of character in a wind ensemble club, but it totally makes sense that she's here. But if this was, say, like, let's say a drama club, I would absolutely have expected the person that comes in wearing the cape and the top hat and is like, yes, the limelight, you know, like, absolutely. So
Definitely.
The fact that we get that here,
yes.
Awesome.
I have to ask, though, this advisor guy, Tika, why was he listening to their performance in junior high, but then he shows up at this high school?
was
it actually a junior high?
Well, so I believe it
Or
definitely
is it
was.
not called a junior high in Japan?
Well, I think it was junior high, but it wasn't necessarily theirs. Did we check the name to make sure that it was theirs? Because it might have been someone else. It might have been like a different school or something like that. And he's sort of like, okay, yeah, these are the
I'll have
kinds
to go
of...
back and check at another time, but I believe it was.
Gotcha.
If it wasn't, it probably would have been something that I would have gotten a message about from someone on Discord.
Yeah. But one of the other things that I thought was kind of interesting, and this is just like a little tidbit, but things where you can tell, like, that like recognize the studio that's working on it. Like anytime that they show the musical instruments and the way the light reflects off the metal, it totally is taking me back to Violet Evergarden with Violet's like arms and everything. But then also Violet Evergarden had some amazing character designs. But when it came to the guys, the body structure and face structure was so samey. Not in a bad way necessarily.
Tika is the major.
But
he's actually
he's
just
the major. Like the and also the dad. You know, the dad in that one episode, like the way, like the shape of the chin compared to the rest of the head, and like the glasses and the
Sure.
like it's
I have bad memory of. Well, no, I kind of remember. Yeah, sure.
But like, so I just that was one of those things that I thought was just fun.
I was gonna mention it in the reaction. I'm like, we've seen this guy before.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, this guy, I have seen him before. But I was like, for the life of me, I don't remember where it was. And then you're like, Violet Evergarden. I'm like, that's it. But this is something that I have to give just props for, because I don't know what goes into the makings of, anime on the detailed level. But there's just so many little things that I'm seeing in this anime's production with regards to little bits of animation and like you're saying, the lighting and stuff like that, to where I'm like, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Like this is rare for like high school little little dramedy,
Yeah, it's like
show. But
sure,
no, there's a lot of effort that I'm not able to appreciate.
They're
fully, but
they're playing for nationals, like
sure, there you go,
like this is one of those things where it's like, I love the character writing so far. So the plot plot doesn't need to go any faster, right? But doubly so when it looks this gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
like
totally.
It could be about literally anything, and if it looked this good, I would want to see it. Right?
Yeah, and this isn't even a new show. Like this has
exactly
been around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But okay, this is good fun. We've got ourselves a little bit more of the cohesive unit within the overwhelmingly large, school club class
right. We have a
dynamic.
We have a good read now on sort of the dynamic of the show moving forward, probably because they are going to be trying for nationals. Even if some of them don't necessarily want to, and here's how we can have a smaller package to deal with the characters.
Yeah, I think that is one of the things that anime does a really good job of doing within the first 3 episodes, is they give you a pretty clear vision as to what kind of experience you're getting, because they keep the character focus simplified down to the core members. And I really wish I had kind of noticed how... I wish I had noticed sooner how much waifu investment potential there was in Asuka. Because literally before the reaction recording, guys, Jacob was like, Asuka, man, I'm feeling it. I'm like, I wouldn't invest in Asuka. Like, I'm literally like killing myself for those words because I said them to him right before we were recording.
And when we're talking about the term waifu, we mean favorite characters and things like that.
Right.
You know, nothing weird, right?
No, of course not. We're talking about basically characters that you're excited to see in the story and stuff.
I am positive that Asuka will absolutely steal the spotlight, figuratively and probably at some point literally. Yeah. Over the course of the show.
I could definitely see her doing quite a lot with that. And also, her presence brings up a very interesting thing that Aoi brought up, which is, 3 years will go by in a blur. And I had this moment where I literally did the same thing. Like, I grabbed my knees just like you're doing now, and it was just like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is a 3-cour show, right? With 3 seasons.
2 cour, and then there's a movie.
2 cour and a movie. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Is that the end of the series?
No, I believe the movie is actually like focusing on some of the side characters.
Oh, okay. So this is not something that's going to end once we finish and
I don't believe so. Maybe, but I don't see how it could. I mean,
I don't think it could either.
I mean, since they have limited it down to like, the 6 or 7 characters or so, right. I feel like they could then from here with the 20 episodes that are left or whatever, over the course of the show, I feel like they could do it.
Okay, gotcha.
But they don't have to.
Yeah. That was giving me vibes of some kind of things of where it's like, oh, we're going to have to essentially say, just like we had with the Haikyuu experience, goodbye to the, the senpais, and stuff like that. And it's like, Asuka, Jacob,
she's a third year. Yeah.
Goodbye to her. At some
right, and then someone else will have to take up the torch of being the pushy, hilarious character.
Just the base section leader.
Oh, yes, right. That's Asuka's main role. Yes, that's right. But it's also one of those things that stood out to me of like, oh yeah, that's right. Because like thinking back on high school, it doesn't my time in high school, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. But then it's like,
gotcha.
But then it's like, shit, really? I'm 25. Like yes, it was a while ago, but then at the same time moves really fast.
It does.
And the fact that a high schooler is commenting on that. A first year, like a freshman in high school, is commenting on.
Well, no, she's not a freshman.
Oh, she's not?
She is Kumiko's senpai. She mentioned that in the thing when they were walking back before she went to cram school. She was like, I will be. She's like, I am your upperclassman, so I'd appreciate it. Something like that. And she was like, oh yeah, totally. I can show you the little bit if you want extra confirmation on that.
No, I totally believe you. Oftentimes, I found myself needing to remember to actually watch the subtitles because the visuals were so good.
This way.
Here. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, oh, you're my upperclassman, I guess should be more polite.
Okay.
And she's like, no, that's just, when we're in school, you can address me formally, but, outside, that's fine. But,
okay, yeah, so, yeah, and that, but the idea of having a young person that sort of has that, like, I have a perspective that, in some ways, you shouldn't have when you're that young. Like should's a very weird word, but, like, what happened that made it so that she has that sort of 1,000-yard stare almost?
She's going to cram school already. I think what it is that she's making a beeline towards her future.
Yeah.
And she's realizing how quick her future is approaching. That's why in some ways I have this weird kind of thing of where, no, high school doesn't feel long ago. Like high school does feel like a long time ago for me.
And it was 4 years longer ago for you than me.
But my 20s feel like they went by in a blur.
Yeah. 2020 certainly feels like it's gone by in a blur and not blur.
2020 has been like 3 years for me, man. Yeah. I have lost like my max HP potential is just forever lowered. Like my I have a negative towards will saves now because of 2020. Like I just
but like it's
oh my god.
Yeah.
But y'all, this is a very adorable, heartwarming, wholesome show with characters that are going to steal our hearts. You called it, Edie. That's definitely going to happen. So y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
Yes, we do Twitch streams Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific time for each of those days. Mondays podcast, Tuesdays we do One Piece dramatic manga readings, and then Wednesdays and Fridays Caleb does gaming.
Yep, I'm playing Hades right now, and I'll be playing Cyberpunk 2077 once it comes out.
Yeah, and then Thursdays I'm doing gaming, which right now is Persona 4 Golden.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see it there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.